Hello YouTube. Okay, so it's my turn to do today's Vlogtober, and I thought I'd talk to you about casual gaming. Okay, so the reason I use the term casual gamer is because I game a fair amount, but I wouldn't say I could set any records or would be particularly hardcore, or I have to be honest, I've probably completed less than a quarter of the games that I own. And I thought today I would take you through some of the best games I have played in recent weeks. My iPad is largely to blame. Now, one of my favourite games for a long time before the bugs really got to me was The Sims Free Play. I loved this game because it's free, it's on your iPad and you can keep going back to it. I'm a big fan of time management, real time I guess, games where things happen in real time and you go back to them. I think there are different sorts of games for different consoles. Like I wouldn't play that kind of game on the PlayStation or the Xbox, but I would on the iPad because you can have the gameplay while you're busy doing other stuff. So yeah, The Sims Free Play was one of my favourites before Simpsons tapped out. So the idea of being able to build a town, kind of like in The Sims, is just that it's one of those ideal games that I would play all the time, and you get to interact with the characters and there's like cutscenes and stuff. More recently, a game called Star Command. Star Command is a cross between Tiny Tower kind of stuff and Star Trek. You build your rooms in a ship and you basically endlessly fight these other ships. So it's very Star Trek-y and there's a little bit of a storyline, but then when you get to the end of a cycle you have this whole deja vu thing and you make your ship bigger and you fight them at a harder level. I've got to say that the easy mode is really easy, and that's coming from someone who loves the easy mode. Another one of my favourites, which I discovered recently thanks to Christina Warner, was Kingdom Rush. Kingdom Rush is a tower defense game. Tower defense games have always been the thing where I'm really good at to begin with, and then you get to really hard levels and I spend all my money really easily, and then you let like the big killer boss at the end go straight through without even hurting him. Oops. So Kingdom Rush it's really well laid out, and there's lots of different things you can like upgrade, and there's magic and there's like little people that you can reinforce your forts with, and it's a really good game to play because I just get addicted. Order Up is a fantastic time management game where basically you get to run restaurants and pick what dishes you're going to serve and that kind of stuff. With Order Up to Go, you actually have to select the dishes you're going to use and how many servings of each dish you're going to have. And if they can't pick the one they want, they go back to picking like the basic meal. But it's really well done because the graphics are much better than most cooking games, and they have voices and all sorts of things, and it's a really good game. It's been out for a while, so I don't feel like I can say it's like my most recent, but it's one of those games I keep going back to and it gets addicting all over again. Okay, so this next one is a word play kind of game, and it's a board game, so that's awesome. Often when people make gaming channels, they don't talk enough about like the board games they play and the word association games and the little games that never really get in there. Pass the Bomb is an amazing game. We at Deepfizzypurple played it yesterday for Vlogtober, and the things you can do when you're under pressure and talking about anything. The best ones I think are the mixers. We get asked a question like, what's your favourite drink? And you actually have to keep naming drinks. Or like there's anagram ones where you have to get words out of this long word that makes no sense. Yeah, and it's good because you actually physically have a bomb to like throw at each other and pass between you, and it makes explodey sounds. Another personal favourite would be Jenga. Everybody's heard of Jenga, right? I recently got this new version where the tower like falls down by its own accord. Yeah, kind of like pop-up pirates and that kind of thing, where you have to wait and just hope that when you take one out, it's not all gonna, you know, fall down like the original Jenga or kaplunk. So when I'm not music writing or apparently vlogging, I'm actually playing a game. Connect at the moment is one of my favourite things because you get to move around and your characters actually like respond to your movements, and just games that get you like physically active are always good because you feel like instead of just sitting there like button mashing, which is awesome sometimes, you know, just being able to be active and slice fruit with your hands and, you know, you are the controller is really, really awesome, particularly in a day and age where like gaming is so much more accessible. But I feel like using it all the time to like play games or do little things on the internet that I would normally do on my computer, but this means I can take it everywhere. So, you know, it can be good, but it can also be really dangerous. So I feel like having that active, like, ability to get up and move around is really important in life. Another thing about the Wii and the Xbox is obviously the Wii more so you get to, like, most of the games are aimed at children, but I feel like as an adult, I really do like that kid-friendly look to games. I've never really enjoyed playing shooter games that much, usually because I'm terrible at them. Like, if I'll play a shooter game, I'll die in, like, you know, the first opportunity, just because I'm not used to playing them. But yeah, with the Wii, I feel like it's a different pace of game, you know. It's definitely not an action game. Like, the only action game I think I've ever enjoyed was the Tomb Raider series. Like with Wii Party, you get to just play with your friends and do loads of mini games until one person gets to the end and wins. I love mini games. And like Wii Party board games, that's awesome. I like board games both virtually and literally. You know, nothing actually beats like moving your token around. But when you've got like characters and mini games to play, I feel like that is like probably the best use of like the Wii. But for me, it's probably the funness, cause yeah, you just get to have a lot of fun with your friends doing this stuff. And for me, gaming is definitely a social thing. The iPad, much the same, is kind of like, yeah, most of the time that's on your own, but you know, sometimes you need that, and you can always like play social games on your iPad or your PlayStation and everywhere. So I feel like there's a wealth of connectivity in games. So yeah, that is my gamer confession. I will try and keep you posted on games that I'm playing. And this is Vlogtober the 8th.